There is a strange phenomenon happening across the world. Millions of people are starting a second life while still living their first one. The accountant who becomes a photographer. The delivery driver who becomes a business owner. The retired teacher who launches a YouTube channel. The office worker who writes a book in the evenings. The man who discovers a new passion at 63. The woman who finally stops living by everyone else's expectations at 48. Something is happening. People are waking up. Not all at once, not dramatically, not with fireworks and fanfare. Quietly, almost secretly. At 20, society tells you that your life is just beginning. At 40, it tells you to be realistic. At 60, it quietly suggests your best years are behind you. But what if all of that is complete nonsense? Think about it. Who decided that life should be lived in one straight line? Who created the invisible rule that says you get one chance, one identity, one career, one version of yourself? When you look around, the people who seem most alive are often those who have reinvented themselves. Not because they had to, because they chose to. The truth is that most people never consciously design their lives. They inherit them. They inherit beliefs. They inherit expectations. They inherit fears. They inherit limitations. Then they spend decades protecting a version of themselves they never intentionally created. Imagine a man who has worked in the same job for 30 years. Every morning he follows the same routine. Every week feels similar. Every year passes a little faster than the last. One day he wakes up and realizes something uncomfortable. He has become an expert at maintaining a life he no longer wants. That is a powerful moment. Not because it feels good, because it tells the truth. Many people are trapped, not by circumstance but by identity. They have become attached to a story. I'm too old. I'm not qualified. I'm not creative. I'm not confident. I missed my chance. Yet none of those statements are facts. They are stories. Stories repeated so often that they begin to feel permanent. Here's something fascinating. Your brain doesn't care whether a story is true. It only cares whether it is familiar. That means a comfortable lie often feels safer than an unfamiliar possibility. Which brings us to the first step in creating your second life. You must stop confusing familiarity with destiny. Just because something has been true for 20 years does not mean it has to be true for the next 20. One decision can alter an entire future. One new habit, one new skill, one new direction. History is full of people who changed course later in life. We could mention entrepreneurs, artists and inventors who found success after 50, 60 or even 70. But the lesson isn't about them. The lesson is about you. Because your second life does not begin when somebody discovers you. It begins when you discover yourself. And strangely enough, the greatest obstacle is rarely a lack of opportunity. It is the belief that change requires permission. It doesn't. Nobody is coming to tap you on the shoulder and announce that your new life may now begin. You decide, and that decision changes everything. Now let's talk about how this actually works. Because reinvention sounds exciting. Until Tuesday morning arrives. This is where many people go wrong. They think a second life requires a dramatic escape, a resignation letter, a lottery win, a complete relocation, a miracle. In reality, most successful reinventions begin quietly, almost invisibly. Step 1. Identify the identity you need to retire. Notice, I didn't say quit your job. I didn't say move to another country. I said retire an identity. Perhaps you've spent years telling yourself you're bad with money. Perhaps you've convinced yourself you're not good with technology. Perhaps you've labeled yourself shy. The first life is often built on labels. The second life begins when you question them. Step 2. Ask what is still alive inside you. This is an unusual question. Most people ask what is practical. Very few ask what is alive. Think back. What interests have followed you throughout your life? What subjects make you lose track of time? What activities energize you rather than drain you? These clues matter. Your future often leaves breadcrumbs long before you notice them. Step 3. Create a private training ground. One of the biggest mistakes people make is announcing every new ambition. They tell friends, they tell family, they tell social media. Then they feel pressure before they've even begun. A better strategy is to build quietly. Learn privately. Practice privately. Develop skills privately. The seed grows underground before anyone sees the tree. Step 4. Let your current life fund your future life. This is important. Your current circumstances are not your enemy. They are your launchpad. The job you dislike may temporarily fund the business you want. The routine you're bored of may provide the stability needed to learn new skills. Stop seeing your present life as a prison. Start seeing it as a bridge. Step 5. Commit to 90 days. Most people dramatically overestimate what they can achieve in a week and massively underestimate what they can achieve in 90 days. 90 days of reading, 90 days of writing, 90 days of learning, 90 days of walking, 90 days of creating content. 90 days of focused action can create a version of you that barely resembles today's version. Here is something most people never realize. Confidence is not a prerequisite. Confidence is a result. You do not gain confidence and then take action. You take action and confidence follows. The person you want to become is built through repetition, not inspiration. This may sound less exciting than a motivational speech, but it is infinitely more useful because transformation is not an event. It is a process, a surprisingly ordinary process. Small actions, repeated consistently, until one day they become extraordinary. If you're enjoying this video, leave a comment below and tell us what your second life might look like. Sometimes putting an idea into words is the first step toward making it real. Let's imagine something for a moment. Imagine you meet yourself 5 years from today. Not the version that stayed exactly the same, the version that committed to growth. The version that started. What would that person look like? What would they know? What habits would they have? What skills would they possess? How would they carry themselves? Now here's the interesting question. Would that future version be waiting for motivation? Probably not. Would they be waiting for permission? Definitely not. Would they spend years wondering whether they should begin? No. They would begin. And that is where your second life starts. Not with certainty, not with guarantees, not with a perfect plan, with movement. There is a popular myth that successful people see the entire staircase before they take the first step. In reality, most people only see the next step, then the next one, then the next. Life reveals itself through action, not contemplation. There is another twist that nobody talks about. Your second life will often feel uncomfortable, not because you're failing, because you're growing. Every meaningful transformation creates tension. The old version of you wants safety. The new version of you wants possibility. For a while, those two versions coexist. This is why many people quit. They mistake discomfort for danger, but discomfort is often evidence that change is happening. Think of a butterfly emerging from a cocoon. The struggle is not a design flaw. The struggle is part of the process. The same is true for reinvention. The challenge is not proof you should stop. The challenge is often proof that you have finally started. And perhaps that is the greatest lesson of all. Your second life is not waiting somewhere in the future. It is already here. It exists in every decision you make, every book you read, every skill you learn, every excuse you refuse to believe, every day you choose growth over comfort. The remarkable thing about reinvention is that it rarely begins with a giant leap. It usually begins with a small act of courage. A course purchased, a chapter written, a walk taken, a conversation started, a dream revisited, a decision made. Years from now, people may look at your life and assume it all happened suddenly. They will see the results. They won't see the hundreds of quiet decisions that created them. But you'll know. You'll know the truth. You'll know there was a moment when you stopped accepting the script that had been handed to you and started writing your own. Because your first life may have been shaped by circumstance, but your second life can be shaped by choice. And perhaps the greatest tragedy is not that people fail. Perhaps the greatest tragedy is that they never begin. Somewhere inside of you right now is a person with new dreams, new possibilities, and untapped potential. That person is not waiting for next year. That person is not waiting for permission. That person is waiting for you. The question is not whether your second life is possible. The question is whether today is the day you finally begin it. If this video resonated with you, give it a like and subscribe so we can continue this amazing journey together.